Thesis Statements, a how-to presentation. What is a thesis statement? A thesis statement is a sentence that states the topic and purpose of your paper. A good thesis statement will direct the structure of your essay. It will allow your reader to understand the ideas you will discuss within your paper. Where does a thesis statement go? Your thesis should be stated somewhere in the opening paragraphs of your paper, most often as the last sentence of the introduction. Typically, a thesis will be one sentence. For complex subjects, you may find it more effective to break the thesis statement into two sentences. How do you write a thesis statement? The kind of thesis statement you write will depend on the type of paper you are writing. It could be an argumentative thesis statement, where you're making a claim, making an argument. It can be an analytical thesis statement, where you're analyzing an issue, person, or topic. Or it could be an expository thesis statement, where you're explaining a topic or event. An argumentative thesis states the topic of your paper, your position on the topic, and the reasons you have for taking that position. Sample argumentative theses could be like this. The topic, shown in red, is technology. Our position, shown in dark blue, is that technology has decreased our level of connections to others. Our reasons, shown in light blue, is that it allows us to disconnect from the people in our physical environment, and it does not foster the social skills needed in order to help us connect to those around us. An analytical thesis states the topic of your paper, what specifically you analyzed, and the conclusion or conclusions you reached as a result of that analysis. A sample, shown on the screen, takes our topic in red, fossil fuel energies, and what we analyzed in dark blue, an analysis of alternatives, paired with our conclusion in light blue, that a better option is the use of solar and wind power. When put together, the thesis is an analysis of alternatives to fossil fuel energies indicates that a better option is the use of solar and wind power. An expository thesis statement states the topic of your paper and lists the key aspects of your topic that will be discussed in the paper. A sample would read, factors related to student success include effective time management, motivation, and family support. Where the key aspects shown in dark blue of effective time management, motivation, and family support all relate to the topic shown in red of student success. It might be best to think of a thesis statement as an answer to a research question. Potential question could be, should cheerleading be considered a sport? And if our answer is yes, it should, that becomes our position to the question. Now, to answer that question, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel that cheerleading is a sport? We can conduct research. We can base our opinion off personal experience. We can base our opinion off prior knowledge or about an article that we recently read. And so if we go back to the question, should cheerleading be considered a sport? We know our position. Our position is yes. So we could state it that cheerleading should be considered a sport because, and now we can list our reasons based on our research, prior knowledge, or based on an article we recently read, that it requires athletic skills as reason number one, physical training as reason number 2, and promotes team competition as reason number 3. Putting together our answer or position plus our reasons allows us to formulate or create our thesis. A thesis would be cheerleading should be considered a sport because it's athletically rigorous, requires physical training, and promotes competition. We're simply stating our position that cheerleading should be considered a sport and adding in our reasons that it's athletically rigorous, requires physical training, and promotes competition. Our position plus our reasoning becomes our thesis statement. Remember, your assignment prompt generally has a question for you to answer, even if it's not in question form. Your task is to figure out what your prompt is asking and then answer it within your paper, beginning with your position.